So basically, everything on this sheet you need to memorize. Okay, so in addition to the graphs that you've already memorized. So I'm just going to duplicate this right here and just show you how I memorized it way back in high school when my teacher made us memorize this little table. Okay, so it only has cos and sine on it, but when we start trig in the next lecture, I'll show you how to get tan from that as well, but you really only need to memorize sine and cos, so I don't even put tan on there because you can get it easy from sine and cos. Do you remember what tan is equal to in terms of sine and cos? So, sine over cos, and that's the way I put it in the table, so it's actually just that number over that number, so it's easy enough. Okay, so to do this table, you really need to memorize the whole table, even the values across the top. I'm just going to rewrite those. You can do them in a different order than this if you want. And then you have to remember that sine comes first and then cos. All right, so you're going to watch me rather than writing, okay? Because you've got the table here. So you're watching. Sine of 0 is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and the opposite here. How easy was that? What did I have to do to remember that? That the first number was 0. Okay? Now, there's something else. The second one, 1, 2, is negative. The second one, 1, 2, is negative. There. You've got all of those values memorized, including the ones for tan, because you just do sine over cos to get tan. Let's do tan. 0 divided by 1, 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined, 0, undefined, 0. There. Now tan's done too. Easy. Okay? Now these ones, you do have to remember what the values are, but I'm going to show you the pattern so you can kind of remember easier. So take a look at this. This is, I'm going to add something in here. Square root of 1 is what? 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Look, they're all over 2. Do you see that? Square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3. See it? Easy. Square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3. You can put the square root over the 1, but you don't need to. Square root of 1 is 1. Okay, now what about these ones? Backwards. See it? 1 over 2, root 2 over 2, and root 3 over 2. There it is. Now, when we divide to get tan, the bottoms are all the same, so they're actually going to cancel, because when you have the same thing on top and bottom of a fraction, they cancel. So there's like a 1/2 over a 1/2 in here. Just ignore the 2's, in other words. So what do we have on top is a 1 over root 3. What do we have on top? Root 2 over root 2. What's that? 1. This is the same two things over each other, which would cancel. And this one, root 3 divided by 1, is just root 3 if you want. And there, that's your value. So that's how I have them memorized. And these are all the values you need. So what's the hardest part of this is remembering the order that these go in at the top, because then the whole thing will be messed up if you don't put those in the right order. Okay? But we'll talk more about this next class. But that, basically, you need to memorize that table, either using the table form or using your unit circle. Okay, doesn't matter. Down here, we're going to talk about what that is after. Here's some trig identities. We're going to use them all. So I've got them in groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I just shoved some log stuff over there because there was room on the page. And that's the log stuff you need to know. Okay, so you can look at that after, but we're going to, in the first trig lecture, we're going to just talk about this stuff. And then in the second one, we're doing all identity stuff. Okay? And that'll be all next week, basically. It's just trig. So memorize that.